Welcome back to Tom's World. In this episode of Model Stuff, we take a look at diorama products from the Scenic Factory N+ models. If you enjoy programming on scale modeling, then show your support by subscribing to this channel. Leave us a comment, like, dislike, or share the video with friends. Clicking the notification bell gives you alerts when we post new content, or visit the channel Tom's World for a friendly visit for a complete list of all our videos. Like so many others, I caught the model building bug as a kid. I was fascinated by the many model catalogs and comic book advertisements. And of course I was absolutely smitten by the work of Shepard Payne and the many dioramas he built as part of Monogram's marketing campaign for their armor kits. I was absolutely hooked. I loved building dioramas as a kid, but back then relatively few products were available. We often had to look to nature, and I remember spending many hours gathering dirt, roots, branches, rocks, and lichens for my hobby work. When I returned to model building a few decades later, it was a totally different world. Nowadays, dozens of great companies have emerged along with literally hundreds of products specially made for model building. We can find practically anything we're looking for, even items we didn't even know we needed. Today we'll look at just two companies that produce diorama supplies, the Scenic Factory and N+ models. The Scenic Factory is located in Del Mar, New York, and the company is owned and operated by John Hoenig. Scenic Factory was perhaps best known for their tree kits, but they introduced a number of very interesting and unique organic materials that are ideal for dioramas. So whenever we review suppliers and manufacturers, we always like to go to their website, but for whatever reason the Scenic Factory site's been down for a few days. But good news is that he does have quite a nice Facebook page, and he's got many photographs, and maybe we can have a quick look at them. And this is just some of the autumn colors of the matte material, and you just kind of tear a little bit of this away and stick it onto your diorama with white glue. And that looks fantastic. This looks like that micro flocking material, maybe sea foam, very scale looking. And really doesn't look quite like anything on the market. This is some of the static grass or grass mats that he carries. Very nice. And although Scenic Factory's got a lot of house brands, he does carry other brands as well. So you'll see a few materials on here that maybe other manufacturers make. But these are some of the little bushes, and this is the kind of stuff that really doesn't look like anything else out there. This is why I really like this Scenic Factory materials, because it just looks very unique in scale. I mean, it just really doesn't get more realistic than this. And again, I think this is some of that micro flocking or seafoam material. It just looks fantastic, and they're just little tufts that come on sticky back paper. You just kind of tear them away and put them onto your diorama. Here's some of the grass material with a 1/35th scale figure, just for scale. I think that's 1/35th. That might even be 1/48th, but you can see that it looks very realistic. And this is some of the deep pour water material. This stuff here in the literature, it says that you can pour this up to 2 inches deep. I think it's a 2-part resin product. It is clear, but he's tinted it here with a little bit of blue and green, and it looks just great. Absolutely fantastic if you want to put a little bit of this on your, little bit of water on your dioramas. Here's some of this matting material, tear apart mat. This is the spring color. And we can see here it kind of comes in a mat, and you just tear a little bit of that away and put it onto your diorama. It looks very good, very realistic. Excellent ground cover material. It's got a bit of snow. And here's some of these die cut plants, and these are paper die cut or laser cut plants. And these pictures here, well, I'm not sure about this one, but most of these are dioramas, and they look very realistic. I mean, the quality of the materials nowadays is just stunningly realistic. Look at these little plants. Great color, excellent textures, and beautiful little sunflowers. And a few of these on your diorama would really make it come to life. And what else it's got here? It's got some of these bushes here, and this does look like very realistic. Kind of like the hedgerows in Normandy area in France there. So those look fantastic. Again, these sort of products really stand out, make the Scenic Factory line stand out. Some of this marsh material. You can see when you combine the materials, you can really create some beautiful looks. Absolutely fantastic. And this is just some of the ground cover material that he's got. We'll look at this stuff in more detail here in a moment. We'll get some hands-on. He does carry some of these mud items as well, and it's got that sort of grit and that shine to it, and throwing a little bit of this Asparagus Fern, and here's the effect you get. Absolutely stunning. Perfect for Russia or even the European campaigns. Look at these little bushes with these fruit. Looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, really, it just doesn't get any more realistic than that. So if you really want to raise your dioramas the realism level, Scenic Factory is a great place to start. Here's some of the palm trees. These are really impressive. I mean, there's really nothing like this. So if you wanted to do something in the Pacific campaign, I mean, this is it. Kind of beautiful foliage looking there, jungle foliage. Jungles are always a bit of a challenge to do, but here you got all the items you need to do that. Just some various groundwork here. Look at this fern material, absolutely amazing. It just doesn't get any better. I mean, if you didn't know better, you'd think that was real. And here just in kind of an autumn theme, and this is the kind of stuff you find all over Europe, and this is where a lot of that dark yellow comes from, that dark yellow color on German vehicles from this sort of plant material. Absolutely fantastic. And just a little bit more of the ground cover here. Again, we could just spend hours on here. I just love looking at this stuff. Like, look at that. If you didn't know better, you'd think that was a real picture of a forest. But anyways, it goes on and on. You could spend hours looking here, and I encourage you to have a look at his Facebook page. But let's jump over and have a look at some of these products firsthand here. Just look at this. Absolutely amazing. So here's some of the items that found their way into our shop. So let's have a closer look. So first up, we've got a little bit of camouflage netting material here. So in the package we got 2 little bundles of the stuff, and it just looks like it's dyed gauze material. It's quite delicate, and this is good for draping over our vehicles, or say if we want to depict an ammo dump in our diorama or a headquarters, we can kind of put some posts up and then drape this over. And we could actually probably also augment it a little bit by gluing a little bit of foliage on there, or putting some strips of different colored green strips in there. So this is kind of nice. You could make it yourself again by dyeing some gauze material, but here it comes. It's all prepackaged, nicely colored for you. So very handy for dioramas and for individual vehicles. Then we have this dead branch material, and we can see that a lot of the items do come in different quantity packaging. Like here we've got a large pack and a small pack. And this stuff is kind of a very, very delicate sort of branches for trees and bushes. And here it is, and it does look like an organic material, very delicate little branch-like. And this is fine for all kinds of scales, all the way from 1/35 to 1/48 and even 1/72. And we could just use it just the way it is for, deadfall for branches, or we could put a little bit of glue on there and put some of the micro foliage on there and create little trees and bushes. So very nice material and very scale, very delicate, so very nice. And the color is really great too. It's kind of a brown color, which is totally natural and looks great. And then we have some of this Plumosa fern, which is actually just Asparagus Fern. And this is the small package of it, PF01 I guess it is. And you might want to heed the warning here, don't leave in direct sunlight because it could bleach the colors, but there it is. Modelers have been using Asparagus Fern for many years, but I discovered this stuff not that long ago, and it looks fantastic. And you could of course buy your own Asparagus Fern plant and glycerin and make this kind of stuff yourself, but you spend a couple of bucks, you get a little package, it's all ready to go. And it really does look fantastic. It's so delicate in scale, and this is what the Scenic Factory makes their trees out of, their pine trees out of, and this really does look pretty convincing as a scale pine frond. Then we've got some of this Caspia green. This is the large pack of it, and that's what that looks like. And here it is. Again, it's an organic material. Now when I got it, it was a very dark color, almost black, so I did paint these this green color. And it is recommended that you use acrylic colors on these, otherwise you could get some fading and staining and other things. But that's what that looks like. That'd be great for a bush. It almost looks like those little tree fall that we looked at earlier with some stuck to it, but this is how it comes out of the package. And again, it's all organic material, and it's preserved with glycerin, and yeah, it looks fantastic. Then we have some of this forest floor material. I've got 2 little jars of it, and we can see it comes in a couple of different colors. I think it comes in more colors than this, obviously, but I've got a couple of them, the green tone and autumn tone. So there those are. And I really like these a lot. So this is the green tone forest floor material, and I just love the look of this stuff. It looks like it's got little bits of lichen and twigs and other organic materials, and very soft, and it looks fantastic. Absolutely great if you wanted to create obviously a forest scene. sprinkling some of this stuff on the groundwork would look fantastic. And this is the orange tone forest floor, and again it looks really great. Has a really nice kind of almost like a tobacco color to it, ideal for autumn obviously. So stuff is very cool. You don't need much of this in your diorama, but you sprinkle some of this around, it does have that fantastic organic kind of woody kind of look to it. Absolutely fantastic. Again, you could make all this yourself, but you know, in Canada where we live, you've got 4 feet of snow outside for 3 months out of the year, so kind of hard to forage for the stuff. Well, I guess you could do it in the spring or summer, but you know what I'm getting at. But you order this, and you know, it's all sterile and everything. There's no danger of insect eggs or anything inside it, and you can just sprinkle that around your diorama and you're ready to go. And then we've got a little bit of this leaf litter material. Again, really nice organic material here. It kind of looks like coffee grounds from this angle, but we'll have a closer look. So here it is, and obviously it does come in different colors, and although it did look like coffee grounds in the other shot, it's nothing like coffee grounds. If you look closely at it, it really does look like tiny little leaves and little bits of litter and this, that, and the other. You could take some of that delicate branch material, put a little bit of glue on it, and sprinkle this on with different colors, and that would look great. But this kind of material here is really what's, for me, sets the Scenic Factory apart, as they came out with a whole line of this sort of item, and it's just fantastic. You can see that John is a modeler, and he's been, you know, looking for stuff that looks organic and real in scale for a while, and he's nailed it here. So I keep a few jars of this stuff around because it is just fantastic. Next up is Plus Models. The company is a bit of an enigma in that I couldn't find a company web or Facebook page. In fact, whenever I searched for Plus Models on the web, I got this. Not quite what we're looking for. Alright, so although I'm having a hard time finding a website for Plus Models, Michigan Toy Soldier, his website's got a fantastic listing of the catalog. And he does say here that Plus Models was established in 1990 in the Czech Republic. Gives you a little bit of background and a summation of what they carry. And if we look here, it's such an extensive line of all kinds of really cool stuff, all the way from resin model kits to these cardboard boxes for stowage, all kinds of little items for your dioramas. Just a fantastic selection. And you can spend quite a long time looking here. We'll just scroll down really quick and have a look at some of the items. I mean, this stuff, I guess that's cast probably in plaster, and that's for your World War II dioramas. Here's a little statue. Just a fantastic line of all kinds of neat stuff, some posters. And if we keep going down here, little foodstuffs, rucksacks, tool sets, all kinds of neat stuff, tents. And really, it's just best to kind of have a look at Michigan Toy Soldier's website here and just scroll down and have a look at all the fantastic diorama accessories that they carry. So you can just spend hours on here. Since we're on this kind of forest floor theme, I thought I'd show these leaves from Plus Models. They come in these little packages, and these particular ones are oak leaves. They come in different, this is maple. Comes in different species and different colors for the different seasons, and here they are. And I know nowadays you can just buy the punch and then go collect leaves and make these yourself. But you know, not all of us can get out there into the forest and forage and find leaves and all the rest of it. So you can just get these little packages. Now it's not practical just price-wise to use these for an entire diorama, but we can put a few of them on, you know, sprinkle a couple on the vehicles, on our vehicles, or attach them to our figures' helmets. It also works good for, you know, just little vignettes or those little sort of bases you use for figures. So this kind of stuff is very practical, and I just really just something about these just really captures that whole scale experience. And that'll do it for this episode of Model Stuff. Join us again for more product reviews, kit unboxings, and our epic build videos. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, dislike, or comment below the video, or visit the channel for a complete list of all our entertaining and educational programs. In the meantime, keep your dioramas in scale, stay well, and all the best.